Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're here to talk about my power sheets. So if you're new here, welcome. The Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets is a goal setting planner that helps you figure out what matters most to you and what are the goals that you want to set for the year and how you are going to accomplish them. I did a flip through of this planner a long time ago where we flipped through the entire thing from beginning to end. And then since then, we have been doing a monthly check-in where I talk about basically my progress and how my goals are going. So we talk about all the action items that I set for the prior month, how'd they go, did I like them, did they work, did I actually even do it? And then we talk about the action items that I've set for the upcoming month. So today we're gonna talk about how things went in March, which is a little bit different from the prior months, and what the goals are for April. Okay, so let's start with March. Here is my tending list for March. As of the time that I'm filming this video, the month has not quite ended yet, but I always want to get sort of a jump start on the month and make sure that I'm ready to go before the month actually ends. But as of the time that I'm filming this video, I did everything on my monthly task list. I did it all. Like, I did all of the tasks. Now, some of them were very simple, like book an appointment. Well, it seems simple until you think about how much I hate talking on the phone, but that's okay. So I did all these things. I made my birthday plans, and as of the filming of this video, I've already executed on some of those. I finished my April tending list because we're gonna talk about that today. I not only scheduled my blood work, which is what this task was supposed to be, but I actually also then got my blood work done. I scheduled my oral surgeon. I scheduled getting my wisdom teeth out. That's probably what it should have said, or called the oral surgeon. I did that, scheduled for next month. I took the advanced boot camp class, which we talked about in my last goals check-in, and that is a class that I was always afraid to take because I didn't think I was physically fit enough to take it, and I did not die. I did my taxes. Okay, well, I helped my mom do my taxes, but I did the part that I had to do to help her, so that counts, right? I mean, she finished them too, like they're filed and done. I planned out the two book gift things that I'm making for Sam and my mom, and we booked our hotel for Dubai, which I just did that like earlier today, but it still counts. Put the sticker down, and now we're good to go. The weekly tasks, they actually worked out a lot better this month than they have in prior months. So the prior months, if you watch those videos, I struggled a little bit with the weekly tasks and actually getting them done and having them be things that I wanted to do. For some reason, the ones I chose this month, they pretty much, I enjoyed doing all of them, and I almost did all of them every week, except I struggled with one, and it'll make sense when we get there. So the first one is sending snail mail, and that is part of the goal where I'm trying to cultivate relationships with both my friends and my family and with Sam. I had started off the year by setting a goal to call somebody on the phone. I don't like to talk on the phone, and so that was like a big jump, and I decided let's tone it back a little bit and let's do something I'm already comfortable with, but let's send it to other people that besides just the people that I normally send snail mail to. And so each week I put something small in the mail, or even just sent a card to somebody just to say, I'm thinking about you. Okay, the one I struggled with, you probably could have guessed it, is the stretch video. I struggled with it the first 2 months too. I kept trying to figure out how to make it work in my life, and I think I found the answer, and we will talk about that when I get to April. Needless to say, this one didn't go well. The rest of these though, I did them all. So declutter a space in my kitchen, I did it every single week. I actually won't be doing it the last week because I'm done. I focused, it depended on the week. Some weeks took a little bit longer than others, but anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours on a weekend. And I decluttered a space in my kitchen, and I did it once a week, and now my kitchen is as good as new. Well, not as good as new. The pantry always seems to get back to being cluttered again, and I haven't quite solved that problem yet. Money Mondays, that worked out really well as well. I determined that reading the book was not the answer, and so I switched to podcasts, and I've been listening to one podcast on Mondays, and that's been working. Check-in, update power sheets, that one's easy. 15-minute social media purge, that's also a carryover from February, also worked out well. Keeping that up again in April, you'll see that. And then the last weekly one was productivity boot camp, which I talked about obviously what that is when we did the March goals setup video, and I haven't finished it yet. So it is a 6-week program, and I have now done 4 weeks. I've done once a week for 4 weeks. So I still have 2 weeks left. So I'm not quite ready to share my verdict on whether I think it's worth the money. I have to caveat it with, I did get it when it was on sale, so that's part of it. I also have to caveat with, a lot of the stuff she shares you can see on her YouTube channel. It's Jordan Page is the mastermind behind Productivity Bootcamp. But I will say that I have gotten a lot out of it, more than what I've watched on her YouTube channel. Now, is there some of it that doesn't totally apply to me because I don't have kids yet? absolutely. But I am still getting a lot out of it, but I'm not quite ready to say whether or not I think it's worth the price yet. So let me finish the last 2 weeks and then I will update you on that either in a weekly vlog or on Instagram or somewhere, I promise. So that is the monthly and the weekly, and those I excelled in, basically, giving myself an A+ across the board. Here's where things got a little rocky. I love habits. I am all about habits. And if you watch the check-ins for January and February, the habits were awesome. It was so great. And they changed things about my routine and it was just awesome. The habits in March, some of them stayed the same, but I stopped doing them as much. And I'll get to that. And then the 2 new ones I tried to add just did not work for me. And I discussed this in a weekly vlog and I tried to change things up a little bit to make them work for me and it's not happening. So let's talk about them specifically. So the first one is reading in the morning and reading at night. Now, I'm still doing this almost consistently. And so I wouldn't say they were that bad. The reading at night, you can see there's a lot of empty spaces there. And that is because Sam and I started watching Game of Thrones. We're trying to catch up before the new season starts. And I have been falling asleep on the couch to Game of Thrones and then just moving into the bedroom and not reading at night. And I don't like that. We're still not watching it in bed. We're still watching it out in the living room. But I don't want to lose that. So more recently, I've been trying to be stricter about at 10 o'clock when the alarm goes off on my phone, it is time to go to bed. He can stay out here and keep watching it. I don't care. I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock. That way I have time to read and unwind before I actually want to be asleep. So that one's been kind of hard. It's still a habit that I love. I'm carrying it over to April, but it won't show up on my April tending list. And I'm not going to track it in April, but I am still going to try and make it a priority. At this point also, we're almost at the end of Game of Thrones, so hopefully that will help. All right, the next one was AM water. This one was fine, actually. I missed a couple of days and I'm absolutely loving it and I'm actually implementing it even more so in April. Here are the 2 that did not work. Womp, 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 womp. Yoga with Adrienne. It's nothing against Adrienne. I actually really enjoyed her as a person and as a yoga instructor. I can't do at-home yoga. I just can't. I get too distracted. I can't focus at home. So when we get to April, you will see that I'm going to try and do 1 yoga class a week, but I just realized that doing yoga at home is not for me. And that's okay. It's all right. And then the last one is meditating. This one I also struggled with. I also get distracted. I get bored. It's just frustrating. And so I had a lot of you try and help me with that. And I tried the coloring while I did the meditation app, and that helped. It definitely helped. I found myself actually focusing on the meditation app because I was mindlessly doing something with my body, and that definitely helped. But I still didn't enjoy it. I did it because I wanted to check it off on a box, not because I felt like it was bringing me value. So I'm not going to continue with that either. Maybe someday I will bring meditation back into my life and find a way to make it work. I had a lot of recommendations for active meditation and maybe some sort of walking, which maybe once it warms up, I will try, and I will add leave my phone at home and go for a walk with just my thoughts and my brain and do that kind of meditation. So I might do that when it gets a little bit warmer, but for now, we're pausing on the meditation. All right, time for April. So here is my tending list for April. I have to say, it didn't come to me as easily as some of the past months. So in the past months, a lot of things will come to me throughout the month and I'll jot on a sticky note and stick it on the tending list page. And then by the time I get there, I've already got tons of things that I want to do. Only 2 of these were things that came to me throughout the month. The rest of them I had to really sit down and think about when I was setting up my power sheets for the month. So this month took a little bit more brain power to work, but I'm excited about the things that I'm working towards this month. So my encouraging words are: motivation is what gets you started and habit is what keeps you going. And my top priority is routines. Part of this is probably because I started reading that book, The Power of Habit, but I also in myself have realized how valuable it is when something is routine and is a habit as opposed to a decision that you have to make. So my biggest example is going to work out during lunch. When I have to physically make myself think about the fact that I'm getting up from my desk to go down to the gym, which is in the 3rd basement of our building, 4th basement rather, I take the elevator to the 3rd basement and then you walk an extra set of stairs. When I have to make a decision and think about that and it takes motivation, it's a lot harder to do than when it becomes a habit, which it has for the most part at this point. I don't even think about it. I just literally at 11:55, I stand up and I go downstairs. And it's the first time I really feel like in my life that I've noticed a habit actually like it being a robotic bodily movement. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean? Like it's no brain power. It's just my body does it because that's what I do at 11:55 every day. So I really want to just focus on a couple of things. When we get, this will apply more to the daily habits when we get to that section, but a couple of those things I really just want it to become such a habit that I don't have to focus on checking it off, if that makes sense. So let's start with the monthly action items. So the first one, it's always the same. It's to do the next month's tending list. The next one is to create a pump up playlist. This was talked about in a podcast that I listened to called By the Book, and they talked, it was in some self-help book that they read to make a pump up playlist. And I was like, you know what? Music does have such an impact on me. I want to do that too. I want to take a Skillshare class. If you haven't heard of Skillshare, it's a online learning tool that has classes taught by a bunch of different teachers, tons of different topics. And I feel like personal development is always to keep growing. So I want to take a Skillshare class this month. The next one is to finalize our anniversary plans. So I talked about this in a couple of other videos, but something that Jordan Page has talked about on her YouTube channel is that what her and her husband do is they split Valentine's Day and their anniversary. So one will take Valentine's Day and be in charge of all the plans, all the gifts, all the things, and then one takes their anniversary, and then they switch every other year. So at the beginning of the year, I suggested this to Sam, and he said, great, that sounds good. I said, okay, well, which one do you want? Do you want Valentine's Day, which is in like a month, or do you want our anniversary, which is in like 4 months? And he took Valentine's Day. He planned out the whole thing, he got me a gift, the whole 9 yards. He was in charge of Valentine's Day. It was almost like a second birthday, almost, is kind of how it felt. And then I am doing our anniversary, which I already know what we're doing. In fact, some of it may already be booked. I just need to finalize all the details, finalize the gift, and get everything squared away. Okay, the next two are my home items for the month of April. Now, we sort of alternated between, so in January, we started with declutter a space as a weekly task. And it wasn't specific. I just did a space. In February, because I knew I was going to be out of town 2 of the weekends, I switched it to monthly tasks and I got specific and I did it on the monthly tasks. In March, we went back to the weekly tasks and I was specific about a location. So it was a weekly thing, but it was somewhere in my kitchen. This month, we're going back to the monthly tasks and I'm getting specific, and it's partially because I am going to be unavailable 2 of the weekends. That's what I'm going to call it. One of the weekends I'm actually out of town, and one I will have just gotten my wisdom teeth out, so I don't know how much I can actually do. So the 2 things I want to do in the month of April are declutter my clothes. I want to KonMari the heck out of my clothes. I don't know if that's really a verb, but it's probably a verb at this point. But I want to declutter my clothes. Mostly my dresser has gotten really out of control, and that really needs more attention than my closet does. I also am hoping that it will inspire Sam to tackle his clothes. So basically, I'll tell you my goal. So we have 2 closets, and we each have a closet. And then there's one big dresser, and I have the first 4 drawers of the dresser, and he has the 1 bottom drawer. And then there are drawers in our bed, and 2 of the drawers under the bed he uses for clothes. And then we have a shoe rack hanging on the back of his closet. I would love for us to get rid of enough clothes from all of the drawers and the closet. So like, let's clear out some of the closet. Maybe some of the stuff from the drawers can be hung in the closet, and then clear enough of the drawers so that the shoes go into the drawers and don't have to hang on the back of our closet. That's the goal. We'll see if it happens. Because KonMari says, don't like force your family members or significant other to declutter. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that works. But I'm gonna start with mine and hope that it might inspire him, and then maybe share that goal with him, and we'll see how it goes. He doesn't watch these videos, so that's not gonna help my cause. The other thing is make over my patio. I talked about this on Instagram. You gave me lots of great recommendations. Actually, I'm going to start tackling this a little bit in March, mostly because my wisdom teeth being removed. I want to get a jump start on it. And so I'm going to clean my patio. I'm going to get rid of the icky furniture that's out there now. I'm going to get some new furniture. And I'm using part of my tax return to sort of redo my patio. And then I have 2 things for our trip to India. I want to book our Delhi hotel. Now, as part of the wedding, we are staying at the wedding hotel, but we're going a couple of days early in advance of the wedding to Delhi, and I want to book a hotel for that piece. Now, I thought about just staying at the same hotel that we're staying at for the wedding, and I was chatting with the bride, and she said it's kind of outside of the city, and that cabs are really inexpensive, and so if I wanted to get into the city, I could. It's not a cost thing, but she's like, you might just want to stay in the city for those couple of days and then move out to the wedding hotel. And then I also want to research visas. Now that I have my passport renewed, now that that came in the mail. Sam started doing it a little bit. Actually, he was like, this will be my contribution. And we're pretty sure for Dubai, for the UAE, we don't need visas. That if we are going in through Dubai International Airport or whatever the name of the airport is, and we are not staying over a certain number of days, that we actually don't need visas as Americans. So that one I think we're okay, but I want to start researching the Indian visas. All right, the weekly action items. The first one, always the same, check in, update my power sheets. Money Mondays, we're keeping the same. And then 15-minute social media purge, which is at the bottom, we're also keeping the same. The 3 that I'm adding are all health related, and they are all sort of based on something that I tried in some form or fashion in March, but now I'm converting them to weekly goals. And the first one is that advanced bootcamp class. I didn't die, and now I'm gonna try and take it every week, once a week. She offers it twice a week, and I'm not committing to both of the days, partially because I have like a conflict a handful of the times, like getting my wisdom teeth out or I have a meeting, but I'm gonna try and take it at least once a week during the month of April. The next one is a stretch class. So I kept trying to do stretch on my own, kind of like yoga. Trying to do stretch on my own was not working as well. But there's a stretch class that is offered here in the city that I absolutely love called Elastics. In March, I went 3 weeks in a row. I went on Wednesday every single week and I loved it. So I'm gonna do the same thing for April. I'm gonna try to go every week. I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but that's the goal. And then the last one is a yoga class. So we realized that yoga daily and at home does not work for me. So I'm going to try to go take a yoga class at a studio once a week. Again, if it doesn't happen once a week, that's fine. But it's a really good option for the weekends because there's tons of yoga studios are like within a very close walking distance of my apartment that I can take out. Daily action items. So there's only one of these is being carried over from prior months, and that is the AM water. And so I talked about this when I implemented it. Actually, did I implement it in February or just March? I don't remember at this point. But it is where before I do anything else in the morning, okay, that's a lie, I go to the bathroom. After I go to the bathroom, I fill up one of my Broadway cups. So it's exactly 15 ounces of water. But it's more manageable to me than like my big Yeti, but it's still a good amount of water. And so I fill that up to the top and I have to drink that whole thing before I can do anything else, like before I start reading or any of my other morning routine type things. This month, I am adding a bedtime version. I'm going to add a PM water. And so I always end up taking water with me to bed. But before I go get in bed, I want to do the same thing where I fill up one of those cups to the top with water and I drink the whole thing. Just trying to be a little bit more hydrated. Okay, the next one is tracking food. This is something that I was really good at in January and February, and then I just fell off of the food tracking wagon at the end of February and then really into the entirety of March. And I know you're probably thinking, but aren't you doing Jenny Craig? Like, why do you need to track your food? And honestly, part of it is sometimes to make sure I'm eating enough calories, because the Jenny Craig system is not perfect. I mean, no system is perfect, right? But you have a breakfast and a lunch and a dinner and a snack that you eat every day, and those vary every day. And so some of them have more calories than others and some of them have less. And then you supplement it with fruits and vegetables and healthy fats. I don't have the same fruits and vegetables and healthy fats every day. And so it's really helpful to track all of that to sometimes see that, oh, well, that's actually a really calorie heavy breakfast today. So maybe I need to cut back on a fruit, or maybe I need to not have that high calorie yogurt and have that lower calorie cottage cheese, so that I'm still staying within my calorie range. Or if I have a cup of coffee and I add some milk to that, maybe I need to track that. I used to be really good about it and making sure, or if I had a really low calorie breakfast, some of the breakfasts, like the breakfasts can be like 100 calories apart. And I always thought that the lunch dinners make up for it, and I think they're supposed to. And sometimes I end up needing an extra serving of fruit or vegetables to hit my 1,500 calories. So anyways, tracking my food is still important on Jenny Craig, and I want to, again, make that back into a routine and something that I just do without thinking, and it doesn't take any decision-making effort. The next one is not getting on social media first thing in the morning. This is a big one. I have been really good about not snoozing in the morning. Like, I get out of bed, my phone's in the living room, I turn it off, I pick it up, and I immediately check social media. Like, first thing after I turn off my alarm. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to turn off my alarm and leave my phone sitting there in its little cradle on the charger and go about my morning until it's time to eat breakfast, and then I can get my social media, which is like 2 hours after I've woken up. I don't want social media to be the first thing I see in the morning. It's nothing drastic, life-changing happened overnight. The comments that came in overnight, the likes that came in overnight, no, that does not need to be the first thing that I see in the morning. And so I decided to add it into my power sheets because I think that having it somewhere where I track it to hold me accountable will actually hold me accountable, as opposed to just it being something that I want to do. I tried it a couple of times in March, and sometimes I could last like 30 minutes and then I pick it up and look at it. I was really good about lasting until I was done reading, and then when it was time to do whatever channel thing I want to do, which is, that's the next step of my morning routine, is after I finish reading and then I do something for my channel, whether it's edit a video or prepare a thumbnail or whatever it is, that's when I was picking up my phone. I don't want that either. Like, it doesn't make me productive. It doesn't make me excited to do anything. So no social media until I eat breakfast, and then I get a check mark. And then the last one, so I just realized like how opposite these are. So I have no AM social media and a little sticker that says put down the phone, and then the next one is text. So I want to text somebody every day. This also came from the By the Book podcast that I watched, where they were working on relationships, and it was just texting one sentence to somebody a day just to let them know that you're thinking about them. And again, the goal for this is really also going to be somebody that I don't already text every day. Like, I have a lot of close friends and family that I do text every single day, but then I have friends and family that I don't text every day that I would like to. And it doesn't have to turn into a full-blown conversation. In fact, I don't necessarily want it to, but I want it to be just a, hey, I'm thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. Miss you kind of text. And I want to send one per day in the month of April. So we'll see how that goes. That is it. Those are all of my action items for the month of April that are related to my goals. I've said this every time we do one of these videos. I love my power sheets. I love them. It just has made such a big difference in me actually taking action on the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. So if you are still interested in them, the 6-month versions, they are undated, are still available on the website. You can check them out. Let me know in the comments below, what is one action item that you have for the month of April? It can be monthly, weekly, or something that you're trying to do daily, but let me know in the comments so that we can all hold each other accountable. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. Today we are here to talk about my Cultivate. I planned out the, Charlie, can you stop? I did it because I wanted to check it off. Oh, that was gross. So I want to take a skills share class this month. Okay. And then I like just fell off of the food tracking wagon.